Today we're going to take our first ride and try to seat in the pads onto the rotors on our 39-year-old GS1100E Suzuki. This bike has been in my collection since it was new in 1982, and it's one of the bikes I really treasure. The upgrade was about a $375 upgrade, and Joe Padula donated the steel lines. We're ready to test it out. Now my plan was I wanted to wait for a day that I could get more than 100 miles on the GS because I wanted to break the brake pads in nice and easily, and today just turned out to be a beautiful fall day. It looks like it's going to get even better as the day wears on. A little chilly in the morning, perfect midday, and then gets a little chilly May after 3 o'clock. We're going to get out on the open road and break these brake pads in, and they've been installed on a previous video, and the steel brake lines on a previous video. I'm looking forward to a little bit better quality braking. Now I'm totally happy the way that install worked out. There were a couple little glitches that I needed to address. They were all on the video. If you're doing that kind of a retrofit, maybe worthwhile watching the video. And the steel brake lines are on a previous video. And what we're looking forward to today, after 120 miles, having some really much upgraded braking performance. But as I have to do every day, I got to start moving motorcycles around, get ready for the next couple days. And there's just no way to avoid this. The garage is too small. So as always, pre-flighting the bike, testing checking the air in the tires. As it gets colder, I like to add a little bit of air. I like to keep the air stable in the tires. In the summer, I let a little bit out. In the winter, I add a little bit, usually 2 pounds. But keeping it fine-tuned in, and I know a lot of people can't tell a difference. I can. Some people can't tell a difference if this bike is all full of bugs with dirt. I can. So this is the last time we'll get to see those rotors without the pads starting to wear themselves in, but usually it takes about 100 miles. But the final weather check is it's going to go into the 70s, and we're going to have some beautiful yellow leaves along the way. I'll try to stop and get a couple extra nice pictures for my album. And all winter I'll be looking at those pictures and wondering how much fun it was this fall. Summer was great. Fall looks like it's shaping up even better. Okay, you guys, come on. Time to go break those brake rotors in. You don't want to go with me, I guess. Sounds like an old-fashioned muscle car warming up. Maybe it is a muscle car and I don't even know it. I love that sound. That's a 1986 exhaust system on this bike. 86 exhaust, 82 bike. Nice combination, but there's one problem. You got to make that god-awful bracket in the back. That bracket will make you crazy when you go to make it. Anyway, we're out on the open road. And EBC makes so many different pads, you really have to figure out the racing pads, the sintered pads. They wear the rotors out a lot faster. You got to figure out what price you're willing to pay for that little bit of extra braking. And some pads don't work well until they get really hot. You got to, when you order pads, it's best to talk to somebody at EBC. Now it's true, some people are unaware of how many different pad combinations they have, and you always seem to be trading away wear and tear for, well, maybe performance or high-speed performance, but these are the softest of the pads EBC makes, the normal, ordinary street pads. And of course our future project, we're going to get a steel line on the back. And these are all EBC
pads, the street pads, I don't want to have anything racing pads or anything sintered pads. I want the rotors to last as long as possible. I'm looking for mileage on the rotors, maybe at the cost of having, 1% less braking capacity.
One thing that is really important to me, the brake, the feel of the brake, that it's linear, that it isn't grabby and really notchy or anything. And I found after trying several different pads, I like the street pads, the ordinary street pads. Again, I'm just repeating it, that EBC makes. Now, I'll never forget when I was working on the RD, I had just gotten it, I had gotten several different kind of pads. And there were some pads in there, and I don't remember what the material was. They were so grabby, and they were supposed to be for racing or something, but not good, not appropriate for the street at all.
And of course, this is the problem that we're going to be facing very, very soon. There's already quite a few of them out in the road. And it's a good day to break in the brake rotors, because this is really not conducive to a sport bike ride.
Because the pads were new and I wanted them to break in as nice as possible, I really was tempted to up the pace a little bit, but I said, no, I don't want to get home and then be sorry I put some unnecessary non-break-in wear on it. I want them to seat in really nice and slow.
And they are just wearing in beautifully. You can even feel the lever just getting smoother and smoother. None of that pulsing. Boy, the new rotors get away with that. They did the same thing on the FZR. It got rid of that in one stroke of the pen.
Now, when I put the new rotors on the FZR, EBC Rotors, and I did a good, thorough break-in on them, we were still using the bike then for track days, and when I went out on a track and had the really nice linear feel, wow, did that make braking so much more predictable, so much more comfortable. And when you're really on the brakes, that's when it really matters.
So all through the video, I wanted to share some of my impressions of how this played out. What right away I noticed, the lever feel is 100 times better than it was before. There's none of that pulsing at the lever, and that was a big thing to me. That really is annoying. Now the quality of the braking, that's getting better. Every time I use the brakes, they're coming in little by little by little. You can see the wear marks on the rotors. It's going to take a couple of days to get them to where they seat really nicely. because those pads are all wearing in little by little. And those are street pads. Those are not racing or any of the hard compounds. They should seat very nicely. Then the foliage is all starting to change now. It won't be long now, we'll have everything changed. Just a spectacular day for doing this brake test. It couldn't be better. Boy, did we luck out with this.
So about halfway into this ride, I was totally convinced that every penny I spent, every minute of effort, all the paraphernalia. Thank you, Pokey, for getting me those discs. And thank you, Joe Padula, for the steel lines. I really feel like that upgrade, that total package, has just made this bike that much safer and that much more fun to ride.
And nothing makes a ride more enjoyable to me than a new set of tires, and in this case, we got a relatively new tires. Those Michelin Commanders. And by the way, Dallas, they really work great. I know you're looking to put some tires on your GS. They're worth a try, that's for sure. Well, so far today is playing out really, really well.
Now this is one of the spots in the ride where I have to every day make a decision here. I come around this corner, and if there's any traffic on the road in front of me, what I do, and there's no traffic there now, but I just wanted to show this. If there is any traffic, I dive onto Kingsland Road, and Kingsland Road, never any traffic.
And of course everybody's got their Halloween decorations out already. Just makes the ride just a little bit nicer. And the brake rotors look like they're coming in little by little by little. They're just getting better every time I use them. But I'm trying to baby them today. I'm trying not to get into any heavy braking if I don't have to, of course. And one of the issues we always have this time of year, the leaves falling, and there are leaves pretty much everywhere here.
Now, there's a lot of times I've spent money, and sometimes big money, on upgrading things, and I was kind of disappointed in the result. Well, these rotors are not in that category. The rotors, the lines, made that front brake work so good, and the gearing, the higher gearing, thank you Vlad, the rear sprocket, the front sprocket, makes the bike so much more enjoyable to ride.
Now what happens, every time I stop the bike to take a picture, I check out how the rotors are wearing in. It's not the rotors wearing in, it's the pads. And they're wearing in beautifully. It's going to be probably one more ride, and we'll be able to really get on them. And good braking is something I enjoy a lot.
So as the day ended and I'm getting ready to turn around and go home, it just dawned on me once again how much I really like this bike and why I want to keep it running great. And I try to do all the maintenance and keeping upgrades that make sense and make the bike safer and better. And as I tell Joe Padula, I'll be doing stoppies soon. So that's our first test ride on the new rotors, the EBC Rotors. Again, what an upgrade. Now, I was shocked at how good the steel lines were over the almost 39-year-old rubber lines that were pulsing. It's just no way to describe how annoying it is to have things like pulsing, and when you're not sure of the brakes, I don't. The upgrade is about a $375 upgrade. I think it's worth every penny. The bike is like even better than brand new now. And I've got back my feel, that linear feel in the lever. Very confidence inspiring when you're diving into a corner. Now, we're going to go for a more of a sport bike ride once I want 1 or 2 more rides on them. And it's coming up on a maintenance for this anyway. So for the 74,000 mile maintenance. I don't know about that. Anyway, it's amazing to me every time I upgrade one of these older bikes, how much nicer it is. And then I always think, why didn't I do it a couple of years ago? Anyway, I hope you did enjoy the video. Hope you're getting your upgrades done. And thanks so much for watching. Now, of course, I'm just kidding around. I'm not using this for a stunt bike. I'm not doing stoppies. I'd be very happy to keep all the wheels on the ground at all times and have excellent braking. And boy, in the 2 upgrades I've done to that front brake, I totally look forward to riding the bike more now than I ever did. And I look forward to it pretty much all the time. And all the other modifications, the wheels, the tires, and the paintwork, everything. It just makes the bike more of a good friend. we post something new every day. Hope you enjoy the video. I enjoy making them and editing them. And thanks so much for watching.